Jack Harlow got nominated for 7 VMAs.
I
And
was
so
not privy to that.
So, we talk about BET and, the fact that BET really shouldn't have an award show because they don't play music videos. I think MTV, even though they do have their side video channels, I think they're a little bit worse in the sense where they actually have the music video awards, right? And they don't play any videos. And I don't know if you were privy to what exactly Harlow was nominated for, but I know one of them was like best choreography or something. Yeah, best choreography. Let me pull up all of the things that he was nominated for. I don't want to just totally
I
just.
haven't seen any of the nominations, if you really want to know the truth, because when I saw that the nominations were being announced, I'm like, what music videos? Where? Like the '90s hip hop mix that I watch, like
uh,
intermittently at 2 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep. Is that what?
okay, so here it is. Here it is. He got nominated for Video of the Year, Artist of the Year. Wow. Best Collaboration, Best Direction, Best Art Direction, Best Visual Effects, Best Choreography.
What's the difference between art direction and visual effects? Just somebody,
And
anybody.
Best Direction. What's the, they all kind of,
That best director, best
Best
direction.
Direction. And Best Choreography.
It's very
Now we
problematic.
seen his dance moves on the BET Awards. I don't need to elaborate on that. Um, I went to the beach this weekend, man. We went to Florida, right? And
Very
so just to
problematic.
entertain myself, I would put on like just commercial radio. We were in Sarasota, so whatever commercial radio was going on there. I kid you not, bro. All they were playing was Jack Harlow, that one song, and to the point
What,
where
The
they
Drake
played him.
record?
No, no, the one where he sampled Fergie, First Class.
Oh, okay.
They played it 15 minutes apart, like for real. And I'm there's two songs out there, and I say this respectfully, and I say this as a person who used to be in radio and who understands, how radio works, at least back in the day, and I'm sure even more so now. There's two songs out there that they're playing really, really heavy to make people like. The people don't like already, but they're playing it so that you could possibly like it. One, Jack Harlow, First Class, and two, Beyonce's whatever the name of that, disco dance house song she has.
Can I tell you something funny?
Go ahead.
I have managed still not to hear that record.
Nobody likes that record. They keep
I
playing
haven't
it.
heard it.
Was it Break My Soul, I believe.
I haven't heard it.
I mean, you're not missing anything. You heard CeCe Peniston back in the day. You heard, I don't know if you ever listened to Azalea Banks, but Azalea Banks has a song that she made 10 years ago that sounds just like that. And we're going to get to people who made songs sounding just like another person. But the thing with Beyonce, man, Beyonce's a legend. She's one of our icons. And her album comes out Friday. I hope
Uh-huh.
that the rest of the album's not like this. She ain't been out in 6 years. This ain't a good look. She's an icon. I don't want to see her go out like that.
She's also our age, and just typically not due to not due to even sometimes the material can be there, but sometimes I told you, like they just kind of open the door one day and they be like, hey, you do this now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if it's
And
over, it's over, and that's fine. Like, I hate
I
to
don't know
say,
if it's over. It's way too early to say that it's over.
I think it sounds like it's over.
Mary's still kicking.
Mary's different. Mary lies in between that line of crossover success and still grounded type. You know what I mean? Like, you could run into Mary at the club or something.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? And when you
No, that's
and
fair.
similar to where Nas is in relation to Jay right now, right? Like, Nas is in a really good pocket right now where he can make some dope music and not have to worry about having the biggest album of the year and the biggest rollout.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So this is what I'm saying. Those aspects of those careers that happens to everybody. Like that happened to Prince and Michael Jackson. So it's like, if this is it, it's like, well, so what? It happens to everybody else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Michael was done at 40.
Hold on, it happens. It happened to Stevie. Stevie was making good stuff, like that Skeletons album that he made like 1992. Yeah. There's some really dope stuff on the Skeletons album. It was over. Okay.
It's just when it's over, it's over, and you know, it's over. It's like they're trying to push this, and I get it. It's Beyonce, and that's a major release. They're trying to push this like it's not over, but based on this song, sounds like it's over.
What Beyonce song do you love that you're embarrassed to admit it usually, but you have to right now because it might be over? What's your favorite Beyonce song that you're like embarrassed to admit?
Well, you know what? She doesn't make music for me, but I will say some songs that I like that 7-Eleven song. I thought that shit was tight.
Okay.
I think the best song, in my opinion, that she ever put out, as far as like structurally, and one of them songs that would have actually worked for just about anybody because it's a great song, is Irreplaceable. I think that's her best song.
See, but I don't think that's a sleeper. I think that's something that all the fellas and all the ladies like. That's what I mean. Like, what's the sleeper record that you love? You know what I'm saying? Like something that's a little off the grid for her. Like I think we all like Irreplaceable.
Let's see, like Sweet Dreams, maybe.
Okay, there we go. That's what I was
looking for. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for.
She got some good songs. See, this is the thing, man. It's like y'all know me, and I think we're gonna get into this when we talk about this Notorious B1 conversation. I really side with the creators, right? And that's why I always go to bat for Kanye no matter what, right? Seems like. Or I always defend Kanye. I always feel that the creators can always create. And from the jump, in my personal opinion, I feel like, you know, she kind of took on a lot of things that A. Marie and Rich Harrison were creating. And granted, Rich Harrison produced Crazy in Love. But I feel like what Rich Harrison and A. Marie developed, she kind of took on and jumped off her career with it. And it kind of left A. Marie in the back burner, really. And I think that when you kind of do those things, you almost kind of have to continue to do those things. Because do we even know what Beyonce's quote-unquote sound is?
No, a few things since you want a sidebar like that, and that's cool. A little Beehive sidebar. Definitely took A. Marie and the producer Rich definitely took the whole swag that they had started creating. Let's kind of backpedal on A. Marie right quick. Oh man, her first R&B album is one of the best R&B albums from that era that nobody talks about. Nothing Like Loving You, Talking to Me, Why Don't We Fall in Love? Oh no. She was fire. Then she followed up a great, what I consider borderline classic R&B album with Dropping One Thing, which was like obviously the style that you're talking about that her and Richie kind of like started coming.
Let me say this while you're giving those props, and I want to give these flowers. I think One Thing is a better song than Crazy in Love, and Crazy in Love gets all of the accolades that I feel like One Thing would have gotten if Beyonce would have done it. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, it gets to a point where we're giving certain songs credit because of who did them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like that was the first time that you really saw Beyonce flex the fact that it's like, no, this is the difference between superstar and regular star power in terms of how the meter and how the influence like kind of took. So all those things are true. With that being said, I still haven't heard this record. But if it is over, when we're saying it's over, it's only over in the sense like that she's like, well, she might not always like shoot the number one like all the time now. You know what I mean? Like we love what? Break of Dawn, Rock My World, Butterflies. How did it do on the charts, Mike? How did it do?
Well, I don't remember the numbers, but yeah, it wasn't like number one with
it didn't go number one.
Yeah, it might not have been. I mean, the thing is, I think
Butterflies and Break of Dawn didn't go no number one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think even then, Michael really didn't have anybody to quote unquote pass it to. I mean, I guess you could say Usher and things like that. But I think when you talk about these iconic artists being, you know, quote unquote done, you think that, okay, well, they're going to hand it off to somebody. And I don't know if there's anybody in Beyonce's lane that people feel is adequate for her to hand it off to.
I mean, real talk, isn't the same thing like going on with Usher right now? Same age bracket, same time frame.
Well, I mean, Usher has Chris down there, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Usher been had Chris to pass it.
So Chris has always been there. So we really
Yeah.
didn't, and I say this respectfully, we really didn't miss Usher like that because Chris came about. You know?
No, I have missed Usher because Usher is just a way better actual pure love song.
Oh yeah, he is. But
Chris
you know,
Chris Brown
I think
doesn't
people
make like Chris Brown makes great records, but Chris Brown does not make great love songs. Like when I was watching Tiny Desk and I was listening to the stuff on my way, I'm like, oh no, this is still great 25 years later. These are still great love songs 25 years later.
He has better written records. I think the thing is though, people look at Usher as an entertainer for the most part, more so than, you know, a crooner or a ballad singer. So when it comes to them looking at Usher as an entertainer, they look at like, okay, well we got Chris for this. I think people look at Beyonce as an entertainer, and I think that's the whole where it's like, there's nobody to really take on that big space that she fills.
I feel you. I look at Usher closer to Janet though. If we're giving them a female comp, you get what I'm saying? Because it's because Janet's not considered to be like a great singer either, but it's like the full routine and everything. But the hit love song records, even though not considered to be a great singer, Let's Wait a While.
I Get So Lonely, Anytime, Any Place. She got them.
Yes.
Again. Yeah.
The Body That Loves You. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, she's got very like great love songs. Love Will Never Do Without You.
I love that record. That's a top 3 Janet song to me.
Yeah. What's the other one? Funny How Time Flies. I love Funny How Time Flies. That might be my favorite Janet record. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, Usher has records like that. Chris Brown and Beyonce don't have records like that where it's like, no, that slow jam is the shit.
Now, listen. People, the Beehive might hate me for this. Janet's catalog is much better than Beyonce's catalog. I think Beyonce does a great job of selling her songs with her performance. I remember hearing Single Ladies for the first time, and I was like, all right, this is cool. It sounds like Get Me Bodied, though, right? But the video is what took that song over the top. And her performance sells most of her records.
It does. I like Get Me Bodied. I don't love it. Here, how about
this? About Single Lady. Single Lady sounds like Get Me Bodied. Get Me Bodied was cool, but you know, when because Get Me Bodied was like what, the 4th single, and then I think Single Ladies came first after that, and I was like, well, this kind of sound like the last one, you know. But her performance sells these records.
Single Ladies is just cool to me. But here's what I will say. It's like the Janet Beyonce catalog thing. That's not a conversation for me because when I look at Janet's catalog, like, how about this? After Prince, Michael, and Stevie, I don't know anybody that maybe has a better catalog. And her best stuff rivals their best stuff. It's like their best 5 albums. You can sit next to her best 5 albums and she can go song for song with them. It's like, oh, what you got? No. I got something for you. Want some Pleasure Principle? Want some Control? Want some What Have You Done For Me Lately?
I'm gonna say this.
You Funny How Time Flies again.
I'm gonna say this,
man. Miss You Much?
Yeah,
Black Cat?
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. She can go toe to toe with Mike and Prince and Stevie. It's like she's the heaviest of hitters.
Her catalog's crazy. I think album for album, in my personal opinion, I think that Control, Rhythm Nation, Janet, and Velvet Rope might be the best 4-album run in the modern era of popular music. Yeah,
period. As far as in a
we'll have to go back to Stevie to compare it.
No, I mean that depends. Prince has Controversy, 1999, Purple Rain, and Around the World in a Day.
I think Around the World in a Day kind of throws him off from that 4.
But that has Raspberry Beret on there too, and and Pop Life is on there too. Like it's. How about this? But this is what I'm saying. We just bought up Prince's catalog and Stevie's catalog when we're talking about Janet's catalog. That's where Janet is. Beyonce's catalog is nowhere near that.
No.
It's not.
Now, if we had Sign of the Times in that place, then you know.
If Sign of the Times is in that place, that's the best 4-album run ever, like in my opinion. Because in Purple Rain and Sign of the Times, he has like 2 of the best, like 10 to 15 best albums ever, like right there.
That's real. I think Rhythm Nation's up there though, man. Rhythm Nation's a great album. And honestly, with Janet's first 4. Not first 4, because she had 2 before.
She had Dream Street. I get what you're saying. The 4
albums. Yeah, Janet Jackson and Dream Street and all of that. But when she started with Control was like straight up hits. There's only one song on Control that wasn't a hit. So you got that kind of album. And then you got Rhythm Nation that took on heavy subject matter, took on all kind of new choreography, uniforms, themes, production. And that's the best one in my opinion. But, I mean, I think anybody could say any of
That's
those
the best
four is the
songwriting.
best. Yeah.
The best end-to-end songwriting is on Rhythm Nation.
What do you think about Velvet Rope? Because I think conceptually that could be the best too.
So she's got chambers like Wu-Tang. That's what I'm saying. So Control is just the straight up and down hits. It's like you want bangers. Yeah. Like it's very comparable to Thriller and Purple Rain in the fact that it's like, well, damn near every song is a classic song in a hit record.
Yeah.
Very comparable to Thriller and Purple Rain in quality, in the song. There's just no Billie Jean or When Doves Cry, like that top level. There's that highest level.
Right.
But Control has everything else that Purple Rain.
Rhythm Nation has those songs for her.
Rhythm Nation is the one that has the songwriting skills, like on 10. It's like, you want me to write like a dance record? Cool. Hit record? Yeah, record with some thought, conception. Like, so she's all over the place and puts it together very, very well. Like, I think Miss You Much is one of her most slept on records. I love Miss You Much.
That's a great record.
It's a great record. Nobody even talks about Miss You Much. Yeah. Like if any of these chicks today made something like Miss You Much, their career would be crazy.
The video was crazy too.
The dance steps, we used to practice.
The choreography on that shit is crazy.
I was at Rock Chapel Elementary up on the east side, right off Rockbridge Road. We used to practice the dance steps to the video on the playground like you had to get them.
Right. Shout out to Reggie with the super chat. He said, would you put Janet versus Sade?
Sade is something totally different.
I think catalog wise, man, I'm still going with Janet. I know everybody has an affinity for Sade. I love Sade too, but Janet, she's something else.
I mean that's what I mean. It's different for me. My daughter's middle name is Sade.
I know you're a big Sade fan,
right? My mom's favorite singer growing up was Sade. How about this? I'll take Sade's best like 10 to 15 song over Janet's best 10 to 15 songs, but after that it is Janet to me. Like I don't, because Sade shit hit different. Like Your Love Is King,
beautiful,
No Ordinary Love, Couldn't Love You More, Love Is Stronger Than Pride, Never As Good As the First Time.
My mom used to play Anita Baker Into the Ground. You know what? It's crazy, man. I meant to bring this up in another show, but we just get going on our tangents. And I forget.
My mom did too. Look what I just bought.
Yeah, I got that vinyl over here too. But you're going to trip when I tell you this. So I was just looking at, I don't know, I was randomly looking for Anita Baker on Twitter. Anita Baker has, according to Hip-Hop, blocked on Twitter. Now, I don't know why. Never said anything ill towards her. We love you, Anita. And whoever's running that page, please unblock according to Hip-Hop or give us some sort of clarification. Because we love Anita Baker. When Anita Baker was out here, trying to get her masters and stuff, we championed that. And we went out there and helped with the campaign on our end. I don't know why Anita Baker has according to Hip-Hop block. I wish I had the screenshot with me, but I wasn't even thinking about bringing it up in this show. But
not Anita.
It hurt my heart when I saw it, man. No, Ohio okay with the super chat says, what y'all think about Ray's second album, Home? What y'all think Ray's second best album is? I think it's between Purple Tape 2 and Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang. I think it's Purple Tape 2, but his latest project, The Wild, is pretty dope too. I like The Wild, but it's definitely only good for Cuban Links too. For me. 10 Bricks is sick. 10 Bricks is sick.
Rappers stepping to me. They want a brick, son.
But I'm the chef. My price is 26, son.
Okay,
even Slick Rick on We Will Rob You, man.
Yes. No. The whole album. Catalina with Life Jennings. The joint with him and Buster going back. Yeah, no, there's stuff crazy. Broken Safety with Styles P and Kiss.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Anita Baker has according to Hip-Hop blocked on Twitter.
Okay,
please
so Mike,
rectify that, somebody.
I'm somewhat of an investigative reporter at times. I'm going to tell you what I think is going on.
What's going on?
You know where Anita's from, right?
Where's she from?
She from the D, Mike. She from Detroit. And you haven't spoken very, very kindly about a lot of Detroit MCs. You said Lupe was going to wax Royce. We all know how you've been towards Eminem.
I love Royce, man, but now, I just thought Lupe was going to wax him.
All I'm saying is that Anita's from the D. You've been very disparaging. And I know you love Royce, but you did say that Lupe was going to wax him. And even though that happened, it doesn't change the fact that you said it. The stuff you've been saying about him,
I think
for 2.5 to 3 years, Mike.
I think the Elzai is the strongest lyricist out of Detroit. I don't think Anita Baker is listening to Eminem like that.
But whoever's running Anita Baker's stuff might need to be keeping Anita Baker hip and current. You know, like Anita Baker retired because she like married like a neurosurgeon that didn't like need to sing anymore if she didn't feel like it.
Right.
Like she big chilling up in the cut.
Somebody said we probably said she was over. No. Listen, this is my prediction, man.
Mike probably said she was over.
I just try to keep it as real as possible, man. I think that this Beyonce album, man, I think that's it, man. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Anita, do we need to get Mike to sing I Apologize?
Right, I apologize, Anita. Speaking of Eminem, though, so Stan randomly came on.
Right back again.
I was in the car on the road trip. On the road trip, Stan randomly came on. And I was like, this song isn't as well written as a lot of people try to make it seem. It's not, man. It really isn't. It's not. Like, you know what? One thing that I didn't understand as a writer, and maybe you could kind of shed some light on this. Why do you think he added that part at the end of, what was that, the third verse? No, second verse. P.S. We should be together, too. That was unnecessary.
You know, it's called like providing a cliffhanger on top of the cliffhanger. It's like everything already fell off the cliff, and you ask yourself, as an MC, when you are great, what can I do to push the envelope further? So I just think that that's him, writing-wise, pushing the envelope further. He has always been somewhat of a shock value rapper, but also understand he came up in a time where he heard Biggie and Nas say a lot of shock value type of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. I mean, you've heard Biggie's, you know what I'm saying?
Biggie
so
said
like
some things, yes.
Yeah.
But okay, so was he alluding
rings and a #1 mom pendant?
Was he alluding to Stan possibly being like attracted to him? Like, was that where he was going with the pen?
I think he was just going to the depths of the psychosis. Actually, you know what I mean. I think it was more like of a psychological, like display of like the depths of which, you know, his fandom and his fanaticism.
Oh, we're getting some thumbs down now. I'm sorry I brought this up.
See?
No, go ahead, Coop. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, so I think first of all, I still think that it's an excellent song and well written and a wonderful story. And I think as a writer, he's just exploring some things like conceptually and psychologically. And part of the brilliance is that he really did it with brevity.
Do you think that at the end, he should have even disclosed that he discovered that it was actually Stan because he was randomly reading some news clipping?
I could have did without that part.
I think we could have done without that too.
I could have done without that part.
Because I think that
all the greatness before. It's like 5 minutes of greatness before though.
No, I'm just saying though. I mean, it was like it gets those type of things can make a great thing corny.
I think you're speaking more in retrospect too. And it's easy to retrospect that, but it's I still love Stan.
I mean, everybody's killing me in the comments. They
clearly
agree with the fact that
no. I mean, whatever they're doing to you, you deserve. I mean,
y'all acting like Stan as I gave you power or rewind or something from a writing standpoint.
No, it's not that, but it's pretty great, Mike. I mean, it is.
I think it's a pretty good song. I mean,
I think it's a pretty great song. Like I actually think Stan's a classic. Actually, if you want me to go out and say that Stan's a classic, I will. I will say Stan's a classic.
Well, I mean, I think that the way that it has been adopted in popular culture, from people using the term Stan as a super fan. I mean, obviously, it's had its impact.
Right. It's very similar to If You Know, You Know, in that fact that it's incorporated itself into popular culture. Very comparable to Bling Bling in that manner too.
I'm gonna keep it real.
Very comparable to Ether in that manner.
I'm gonna keep it real though, man. As a grown man, listening to that shit, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I get it, but
if you want
live niggas is not riding to that, man. I'm sorry, man. I can't relate. I can't relate to.
That's true to a degree. If you want to criticize something, let's criticize some of the artistic merit for straight hijacking Dido. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he gave her credit and put her on the record, and
I mean,
it
obviously
helped
gave
her
her credit and
career.
put her on the record, but part of what carries that song is that hook blends wonderfully with the rhetoric and with the melody and with the backdrop and with the visual aid.
Well, shout out to 45 King, man. 45 King has 2 songs in his arsenal as a producer that could carry him for the rest of his life. Hard Knock Life and Stan. Like, you're eating good.
I'm about to say, the checks off of those is probably why you haven't heard from him.
I don't have to make anything else. Yeah.
No. He's probably making 6 figures alone a year off those 2 tracks. Just because of how they spend. Yeah.
Sean with the super chat says, "Hey guys, what about BG versus Juvenile and Guerrilla Warfare versus Get It How You Live? My bad. Debate. Where do you rank it, and how do you How You Live as group album? Get It How You Live is as a group album all time. I guess is what he was saying.
Guerrilla Warfare, Get It How You Live, Volume 1. What was that?
That was that first one. I mean, I'm more partial to Get It How You Live, man. I remember, growing up because it was outside playing that Block Burner song that Wayne had by himself. That it be the I was like, who is this? I remember hearing that and UGK's Murder outside. Like, these are records radio never adopted, but you were hearing. And that just shows you, man, how long Wayne been around. It's fucking incredible. I had to put him in my number 2 spot.
No, I told you, I'm cool with that because it's like he precedes Pusha T by like 4 or 5 years, which is crazy because like Pusha T's older.
Yeah. Everybody's older than Wayne.
Wayne's our age.
Right. Wayne's 40.
Yeah, Wayne's 40. Yeah. He's been rapping since he was 13. Like, like the whole time you've been listening to Wayne, it's like, that's your life. You know what I mean? If you grew up like around the time that we did here, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't some of the stuff from Get It How You Live find its way onto Guerrilla Warfare?
I think so.
Isn't that like 4 or 5 records? So it's automatically Get It How You Live, just like off the strength of that. Because if I'm not mistaken, there are 4 or 5 records that are Get It How You Live, and I think Manny changed the beats.
And they redo them, like some of the lyrics.
Just redid them and upgraded them for people who pretty much it's like the people who weren't from the South that hadn't heard it already.
Right. And so there was a lot of that going on. Like 3-6 did that a lot too. Like as somebody who was following what they were doing from an underground standpoint, as soon as they got major, they would retool some of their songs, put them back out. Motivation is on the end, and it's on World Domination. So there was a lot of that going on, and it's fun to see. It's fun to see your artists blow up and get major. What
album was Project Chick on? Give me a project. Which one was that?
That was on. Was that on? Correct us if we're wrong. Was that on The Block Is Hot?
I feel maybe. Like whenever that record dropped,
they'll let us know in the chat.
I remember it being bigger than the stuff that was on Guerrilla Warfare because we had heard the stuff on Guerrilla Warfare before down here. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it's like
I Need a Hot Girl and stuff like that was new, but yeah. Reggie with the super chat says, "Cool. Mike is the reason A2HH will never be invited to the Shady Records brunch." You know what? Don't punish everybody else, man. Let Coop go, because Coop, he keeps.
Hey, can I tell you a true story? My producer and dear friend Obi, who I've referenced on this show before, when we were in Cali doing
Baller Blocking Soundtrack. That's what that was on.
Baller Blocking Soundtrack, yes. Obi actually went to Sherman Oaks and dropped like one of our CDs, in the box and Aftermath. But this is